Hello patrons, and welcome to the monthly exclusive Patreon video for the month of May, being recorded on June 1st, right? It's been a while since I've done one on June 1st, and of course released June 2nd. First, let me say, how y'all doing? Hope you guys are doing good. It's been a pretty good month for us. There's been a lot of excitement around the house over the timeline split coming up. That being said, there's also been a few things that have broken, and that's been unfortunate. One of the things that you may have seen me post on Twitter, which I'm pretty sure has now become my most popular tweet ever. This is not how I wanted to be remembered, but okay. We have some toilet issues. It's actually both of our toilets where you flush the toilet and it squeals to high heaven. It got so bad, the one that was in here, that we actually shut the water off. Because it was leaking. Also, it was making this terrible noise, but also it was like leaking water everywhere. And the other toilet's just about to do it as well. The landlord has come up here from Florida and checked things out, and hired a plumber who never showed up, and hired another plumber who never showed up, and hired another plumber, a third plumber. Anyway, eventually it's going to get fixed, and I believe it's tomorrow. I believe it's going to be fixed tomorrow. Little anecdote, but just to throw in the beginning of some things are broken. The toilets are actually minor compared to some of the other things that are broken, but I'll get to that soon. Let's start with what happened in May. So the big thing that happened in May was the Runaway Guys Coliseum, and I don't have like a montage prepared for that just because, quite frankly, there's not that much interesting footage from it. A lot of it was just stream footage, so I'll just show you some cool stuff while I talk about it. It was a blast of a time. So as a reminder, this was a charity event that went for 3 days, and it was like we were live streaming 10 hours a day minimum every day for these 3 days, raising money for Direct Relief, and we ended up raising, now I forget, 111 something like, I think it was $111,000 for Direct Relief. And it was also a ton of fun. I think that's the big thing, is that whenever you're doing these sorts of charity events, like, not only are you raising money for a good cause, like, everyone there had a blast. And the thing that I want to talk about, before we move on to the next thing, is these are good people. Like, these are such good people. And I know that maybe many of you know some of the personalities that were there, right? Like, obviously, you know Mel and myself. You probably know Josh, Emil, Tim. The people that were there, like the people I didn't know beforehand, right? I got to meet. I got the chance to know like Jules and Adriana a little bit better, but I also got to meet Jack, who was Toxic Eternity. I also got to meet Devin, Maryland, and like all of these people are good people.
Everyone is so nice.
Yes, like sometimes you can just talk to someone for a very short amount of time, and you just know they're good, if that makes any sense. And there was just such an incredible energy, like obviously on camera, but also off camera. Everyone got along. There was like no drama between anyone. People were just happy to be there, happy to do the event. And it was incredible. Now, if you missed the event, that's okay. You can catch it. It's currently on John's Twitch archive, so you can go to twitch.tv/ProtonJohn. Although, the Runaway Guys are going to be posting it to their YouTube channel soon. And the only reason I know it's going to be soon is the other night I got a message from Emil, and he's like, I hate to ask this on short notice, but can you make me a thumbnail for the Runaway Guys Coliseum to post on the YouTube page? And I said, sure. So I designed a thumbnail, and that was like 2 days ago or something. So I imagine those are going to be out really soon. And the best way to watch them will be on YouTube, because they're going to be similar to how we cut up Extra Life. Like, it'll be by game, so you'll be able to watch the specific thing you want to watch. So if you're not already subscribed to the Runaway Guys on YouTube, do that, because that'll be coming out pretty soon. Also, things that happened in May, Fan Favorites 2017 came out. The vlog, as many of you know, is my baby, and I work on that exclusively. I don't let anyone else touch that, except for the few times I've let Mal take care of some of the bulk work. But Fan Favorites was an opportunity for me to let Dan have the wheel because it was already close to what he was doing. He's done memorable moments for such a long time. Fan Favorites it's basically the vlog version because with the form that I had set up on Google, all the answers get dumped into a huge spreadsheet, which is very similar to how he's familiar working with memorable moments. So I let him handle it, and he did an awesome job. If you haven't seen Fan Favorites, it's fantastic. He did the bulk of the work. The only thing I really did is I came in when he felt really good about it. I came in and we watched it together, and I removed a little more stuff. I wanted it to be as tight as possible. I think I ended up cutting 17 minutes out of the video, but I also at some point got it in my head. I was like, I can get this under an hour, so I cut some stuff down. But it's very good. The only thing is that, and we don't actually know how this happened, there is no mention of Deal or No Deal for the Nintendo DS, which is arguably probably like the most requested moment and also like one of the most popular videos of 2017. The reason that didn't make it in was an accident. I didn't notice that it wasn't in there because, I mean, you're being bombarded with, over an hour of these different clips. You don't think about one specific thing that's not there. And so I signed off of it, and I was like, yeah, that's great, we're good to go. And then after it came out, people were like, where's this clip? And I was like, oh, crap. And I asked Dan about it, and it was just, he said it was a genuine mistake. He said he remembered it being in the timeline. He's not sure when he got rid of it accidentally. So I don't know what happened. It's unfortunate, but I just left a comment on that video that said, hey, if you're wondering where it is, it can only truly be experienced in its, entirety. Because the video didn't go anywhere. It's a funny video, but it can still be enjoyed. It's a shame that it's not in the Fan Favorites, but we'll try to be careful of not messing up that sort of thing in the next one. Still good. Still worth watching. Other things that happened in May, we released the mini golf video that we had recorded when Chaz and Jeff were here back in March. That finally came out. And then immediately we moved into Kirby Star Allies. You probably don't need me to tell you that I have thoroughly enjoyed that game. It is a good game. It is, like, it's a fun game to play, but it's also scratching a crazy nostalgic itch because the game feels so similar to Superstar and Dreamland 3 for me. And I've had a lot of comments saying, there's been other games in the series like this one, but the thing is I haven't played them. So, like, I'm jumping a lot of games, and I'm really excited because of that. Like, if I would have played a different game, I probably would have been excited for that as well, but there's just been all this new stuff that's been added to the Kirby series over the years, and now that I'm playing Star Allies, I'm just getting a chance to experience it all at once, and it has been joy overload. Just really love that game. Not done with it yet. It's probably got another month. I was talking to some of the patrons on Discord asking about how long it was, and I think we're nearing the end, but then there's like a few modes that aren't too long that we're going to show off as well, so it'll probably stick around maybe until the end of June? Possibly? I'm not sure. The other thing that's super, super exciting is that we finally have recorded the Doomsday Heist. Doomsday Heist was one of the big new additions to Grand Theft Auto Online. It was a new heist, and it was added December 2017. Almost immediately after that, we started getting bombarded by questions on Twitter and comments and videos asking if we were going to cover it. So I reached out to Dan, Taylor, and Alex. They said that they would be totally cool with getting together and recording it, but we hadn't actually done it until May. And it is done, and it is long. It took far longer to record that thing than I thought it would. The recordings themselves, I think probably like 12 to 14 hours it took to record it all. And the cool thing about this one is that not only did I record it, but because Dan has got a really great computer now, he recorded it. And what's going to be so cool is that you'll be able to see, in these heists, it often split you into two teams, and you're working at different goals to, help each other. So I'll be able to go on one side, Dan goes on another side, and we'll be able to cut back and forth to show what's happening on both ends of the action. I'm really excited about that. There's no release date in mind for the Doomsday Heist, partially because it's just so much content, and it's also a very hard edit. So I don't know when it's coming out, but rest assured that the entire thing is recorded, and it's good. It's good. I mean, one of the downsides to it, not to get like super off topic, one of the downsides is that they changed how this heist worked compared to the other heists. This one actually cost you money. It cost me 3 million in-game currency to do all the heist stuff, and it's unfortunate that they did it that way, but we did it. You know, it's done, and it's enjoyable to watch. I think people are going to have fun with it. But I did not make money off of the heist. I lost $3 million. And they actually have it set up where you can make money, but you have to do it in like a public session, which means that you're trying to do things and there's like random people that are in the world that'll just shoot you. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm good. So we lost out on a lot of money because of that, but I saved some sanity. Apparently sanity cost me 3 million in-game currency. Now I know. Other things that happened in May, and this is probably the most frustrating thing for me this month. My camera, well, you guys know, in the past, like there's been little dots and specks on the picture, right? The reason that happens is that dust and specks and things like that get under the lens, and because of how these cameras work, the lens is like extending and retracting, and dust can get into the camera that way. There's not a whole lot you can do. It just happens. You can try and use one of those like air blowers. Like there's one called like the Rocket that Dan has. You can use those and try to get some of the air out. You can like try and vacuum it out. But basically you're going to have to live with it to some extent. So on the old camera, the ZS100, which had the really good zoom, that developed some spots, and people were like, oh man, spots. And you were right. I mean, it had spots. Then I ended up getting a different camera, the LX10, back in August, which is a similar camera, but had some features that made it much, much nicer, in my opinion. And over the last few months of using that camera, it's also developed some spots. And then randomly, the other day, like how many weeks ago now? Maybe 3 weeks ago, there was a black spot on the camera. And I have no idea how the black spot appeared, but Mal was filming something and noticed it, and was like, there's a black spot. So we looked, and I have no idea what it is. It could be something just like under the lens. It could possibly be something that happened to the sensor itself. I don't know, but I'm not sure how it happened. But it appears very similar to like these dust specks. So I decided that I would contact Panasonic because the camera's under warranty. I only got it in August. It's not even been a year. It's covered for a year. They should take care of it. So I reached out to Panasonic. There's no way to like tell them your problem, which is a good starting sign. There's no way to tell them your problem. You have to send them your camera. So you explain what's going on, and they say, just send it to this address in Texas. And I was like, all right, so I'll just switch over to the old camera, the ZS100, while the LX10 goes to Texas. So I sent it off, and it took a week to get there, and then they had to have it for a week or a week and a half before I was allowed to call and find out anything about it. So I called, and the guy said that they would let me know within a few days. So then finally, a few days ago, like 2 days ago now, I got a call, and they said, Mr. George? And I said, yeah. They said, we're calling about your camera. And I said, oh, okay, great. Fantastic. They said, your camera's out of warranty because it has been abused. And I said, what? They said, your camera, the technician has deemed it an abused unit, and it's out of warranty now, and you will have to pay $503 to have the camera repaired. And I was like, that caught me so off guard. I was like, what are you talking about? What do you mean the camera's abused? Sir, sorry, the technician is the one who makes those calls. If you want, I can have them email you a list. And I was like, wait. So you're telling me the camera has been marked as abused and you've removed the warranty because of that? Yes, sir. I said, and you want me to pay $503 to fix the camera? Yes, sir, that's how much it costs, but that will include shipping and handling. And I'm thinking, this is insanity. For one, the camera brand new is like $540. So why would I pay you $503 to get this camera repaired? I could throw in an extra $30 and I'd have a brand new camera. But the other thing that doesn't make sense is the camera is not abused. I've never abused the cameras. I have to keep the cameras in tip-top shape because I have to use them every single day. The fact that it was called an abused camera was just awful. So I had asked, is there any way to fight this? Is there any chance that I can get this changed? And she said, no, sir. Once the technician makes the call, that's that. And she said, are you okay with the charges? And I said, no. Lord, no. I said, send me back the camera. And they said, okay. And then that was that. So I don't have to pay anything to get it back, although I had to pay to send it there, obviously. And I also had it insured, but I guess it doesn't even matter now. So they're going to send me the camera back. I'm not sure when it's going to come back. That's when we decided to look at Panasonic's customer service record online and see what other people were saying about Panasonic. And it's not good. It's not good. It's quite bad. Panasonic, even though they do make great cameras, because I have the ZS100, I have the LX10, we have the GH4. I was hoping to get an additional DSLR for doing mail and Q&A and streaming stuff. So I really love their cameras, but their customer service is not good. And there's all these different reviews of people talking about the exact same thing. Very specific things where they had cameras like this, sometimes the same models, where they would get dust and stuff under the lens, and you can't really fix that yourself. You have to send it in. They would send it in and the camera would be out of warranty. So we can't fix that. That's going to cost several $100s. And that's insane to me. These cameras are not abused. They should not be out of warranty. The cameras are under warranty. In fact, not only did the camera I sent in have a 1-year warranty, it had an extended warranty, a 3-year warranty. So I was mad, and I'm still mad about it. So as you might expect, I currently have the ZS100, the old vlog camera, because the LX10 is hopefully on its way back to me. And there's really not that much wrong with the camera, right? Like, to pay $503 to get it fixed is kind of crazy, because if you open up the aperture, you can't even see it. So like shooting inside would be fine. The only time it wouldn't work is if you had to go outside where it's like really bright, because then you'd have to close the aperture and the dot would be huge. But yeah, it's really upsetting. Now, fortunately, whenever I bought the LX10 back in August, I bought an extra warranty. I bought a third-party warranty through a different company, because when I bought it on Amazon, it came up and it's like, hey, you want a 3-year warranty? It's like, I don't know, $40. And I was like, yes, I do, just in case something bad happens. And I'm now in the process of filing a claim with them. So hopefully when I get this camera back from Panasonic, it's going to go out to this other company, and hopefully they will fix/replace the camera. Now, the thing that sucks is that in the meantime, I am using the older camera, and it has some downsides that I'm not a fan of. One of them is it doesn't have a flip-up screen, so I am back to not being able to see what I'm shooting. If things get out of focus, I'm just like, I can't tell. But I'm crossing my fingers that with this third-party company, they'll say, yeah, of course we'll replace that, and they'll fix or replace the camera, and then I'll be back in business. This has definitely put a bad taste in my mouth for Panasonic, though. Not gonna lie. I mean, I really like the Lumix LX10 a lot, but I'm like rooting for Canon and Nikon and Sony to really create something amazing for their next iteration of camera, because I don't want to stick with Panasonic. And again, this is bad because right now they make the best stuff. Like, not only for the point and shoots, but the DSLRs. The GH4 and the GH5 are incredible cameras, but it's like if you're going to buy one of these cameras, buy a third-party warranty, because Panasonic's not going to help you. Anyway, that was a long anecdote, which will inevitably be just a part of a vlog. But it was important that you know, because that's been kind of a downer for this month. For all of the good that's happened in the last month, that's been the thing that I was not expecting and has sucked. Oh, and one other thing that's, I guess, sucked. May kind of turned into a medical month. We went to all sorts of different doctors for all sorts of different reasons. It wasn't really planned that way. We just kind of scheduled stuff, and it all ended up being in May. One of the things that happened, I think it's worth sharing. I went to an optometrist appointment, and when I went to the optometrist, they can take pictures like of your eyes somehow. Mal knows it better.
It's your retina. It's through the iris or the pupil.
They take pictures and they can tell like what's in your eyeballs, which is mind-blowing to me. And they can actually see cholesterol in your eyes. And the optometrist, who we have a fantastic optometrist, very cheery, upbeat, explains what's going on, had these images pulled up and was showing me, and she said, this stuff right here, she said, that's cholesterol. She said, and normally, it's flowing through your blood vessels, so it's, not a big deal. Then she stopped and she said, but that one, she said, that's a very big piece of cholesterol. And I'm like, all of this is in my eye? She said, yeah. She said, now this one, we're looking at a photo. She said, so I'm going to look in there with my, tool and see if it's moved. Because, this was a photo. Maybe it was on its way, right? It's not stationary. So she looks in my eye and she goes, no, it is stationary. Well, you should see a doctor. And I was like, what? She said, yep, you should see a doctor. Get your cholesterol checked. And I was like, okay, sure. So I did. I went and had the blood work done. And my cholesterol is very high. Kind of dangerously high. Like, not like the level where they're like, oh God, bad, bad, bad. But like kind of right before that. All my other stuff was good. Sugar good. Other stats good. But my cholesterol was super sky high. And there might be a reason for that. The first reason is that high cholesterol just runs in my family. My mom has high cholesterol. And it's actually funny because her doctor had told her, she said, Deb, you've got to stop eating. You've got to stop eating red meat. And my mom goes, I haven't had red meat in 30 years because she's a vegetarian. So it just runs in the family. So I've already got that against me. But the other problem is that I became really obsessed with eggs for the last 6 months. I became obsessed with like perfecting scrambled eggs. And because of that, I've been eating a dozen at least a week for the last 6 months. So I'm pretty convinced that probably had an adverse effect. So what I did is I have taken steps to fix things. I am trying to steer clear of basically all red meat, trying to stay clear of cholesterol in general, so no more eggs, sadly, but that's fine. Eating a lot more whole grains, so I changed out my bread. I'm eating a lot of sandwiches and stuff, and I'm using like whole grains, and just trying to make better choices. And it's not that I can never eat these things again, but if it is that big of a problem, and apparently, the optometrist and especially the doctor, whenever she got the results back, since they were so worried, I'm trying to take it serious as well and make sure that I, stick around for a while. So I'm trying to make sure that I continue to eat right. So enough about all that. I have rambled on for a long time. Let's talk about what's happening in June. First things first, Assassin's Creed 3 is going to end. Fun game. Not covering the DLC, actually, which is going to upset a few people, but I'm ready to move on. And also, the DLC, it's kind of weird. Like, it has nothing to do with the main game. It's an alternate storyline. Like, it's an alternate timeline, basically. And I hate to say that that's a turnoff, but that's kind of a turnoff. So I've decided that once the base game is over, and it is, I've finished recording it. I think it has 43 episodes, so it's almost done. We're going to move straight into BioShock 2, which is exciting. BioShock 2 also has a DLC, and I looked it up, and apparently it's, like, fairly important. So we probably will be covering that DLC at the end of BioShock 2. The other cool thing that's happening in June, For this first Saturday, aka the day that you get this video, there's a GTA Online, because it always happens the first Saturday of the month. But then, every other Saturday in June, you're going to be getting Steven and Friends presents Pokemon Master Trainer. Yes, that video that we recorded back at ChefCon 2016 is done. Dan has finally finished it all. I mean, one of the biggest limitations was his computer, but now that he has a nice computer, he can actually do it, so he did it, and it is going to be out every Saturday in June, and it's going to take all 4 Saturdays because it is long. So if you're interested in watching a couple of grown adults play a Pokemon board game, then you're my kind of people, and also you'll very much enjoy that. Kirby should continue throughout June. It might end near the end of it, but it might continue. I'm not exactly sure how many episodes are left in that. The other thing that's happening is Mal is heading to Wisconsin on her own. We talked about it a few months ago. Mal's dad had open heart surgery, right?
Yep.
Something by...
He had a valve replaced.
Valve replaced.
And he's doing really good. Like, he's
yes.
fine. But I'm going to go help out with, like, yard work.
Mal's going to go be an awesome daughter and be gone for about a week, and just basically help him out, try and take care of stuff. And what we're going to try and do, since vlogs are going to be current at that time, is I'm going to have Mal record stuff with her phone and then send me the footage, and I'm going to try and include that in the vlog every day. Don't know how that's going to work yet, because video is big and internet sometimes is slow. We're going to try and make it work, but fingers crossed that everything will be good there. And that's going to happen closer to the end of the month. And then obviously the big thing happening in June is the vlog timeline split, which is super, super exciting. There's going to be 2 timelines. And by the time you guys get this, we should just have maybe another day or 2, and that will begin. As a reminder, the thing that actually holds it up from happening like on June 2nd and starting is the producers list. It takes Patreon a few days to process the patron stuff and then basically print me out a list of all of the people who need to be in the producers list to appear on the June 1st vlog. So as soon as they are done with that, then I will get the vlogs out. So like within another day or 2, June's going to be out. I'm really excited. And finally, what is happening in the future? My first bullet point says, Fallout 76, no. If you haven't heard, there's a new Fallout game that was announced called Fallout 76. We don't know a whole lot about it, although Kotaku is reporting that it's going to be some sort of online multiplayer game. And I've already announced, and I'm going to be announcing in the Fallout episode that comes out Sunday, I'm not going to be playing it. People just, they associate you with a series, right? So if I've played Fallout 4 for a long time, people say, now you're the Fallout guy, are you going to play Fallout 76? And the answer is no. The reason for that is I've already devoted years of my life to Fallout 4, and I can't sign another several years of my life away. So I'm going to just step back from that project. I don't even know much about the game right now. I might play it for leisure at some point. I might do a first 20. Maybe I'll stream it at some point. But as far as like a Let's Play, no. I don't even know what the game is. I don't care. It's like I've put a lot of time and energy into Fallout 4 and not going to go too much past that. Other things happening in the future. I've been in contact with McLeod Hospital, the children's hospital that we raise money for with Extra Life. We're going to be doing a tour for this year, I swear. We've talked about it for years, but this year it should actually be happening. But it is dependent upon the very last thing that I'm going to talk about. So stay tuned for the next minute. As a reminder, the Southeast Game Exchange is the convention in Greenville, South Carolina. That's happening August 18th and 19th. People want to know when Breakfast Stream is going to start. I'm just going to say probably sometime after that. So like late August, maybe early September, that's probably around the time we'll do it. We still don't know when Alex and Haley are going to be joining us here. Originally we talked about them coming for ChefCon actually, but now that ChefCon has moved, we'll talk about that in a sec, they might show up earlier. We don't know. Sometime between like July and September, I'd like to have them here and record Cat World. As a reminder, in October there is a wedding that we're going to. More details about that soon. And as far as ChefCon, we were thinking about doing it at New Year's. So people would come after Christmas and stay for New Year's. and this is kind of like the only thing that works for people's schedules. So we talked to everybody, and like some people could do August, but some people couldn't. And it seemed like New Year's was just like the best time. So right now, like tentatively, it seems that we're going to be having everyone here for New Year's. The last thing, and certainly not least, is that we have one more trip coming up this year, and it was a fairly unexpected trip. But when I explain what it is, I think you'll understand why we are dropping everything to make sure that it happens. I got an email from the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and I can't talk like a lot about this because, for one, there's a lot of information I still don't know, but also I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to talk about. But we were contacted by the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and there is a little girl in Canada whose wish was to play games with Mal and myself. So they reached out and said, is this something that you would be willing to do? We will do our best to make it happen. And I said, yes, of course, absolutely. Sign us up. Tell us how to do it, how we can help, whatever it takes, So that's happening now. And I don't know when that's happening. Again, I don't know very many details about this. I just know that we were contacted by Make-A-Wish, and that sort of thing is like, when that happens, you do that. And I feel compelled to do that. And it's almost, I don't want to say like an honor, but it does. It feels like an honor to be contacted by them. And I want to do whatever we can do for this little girl. So I don't know when that's happening, but at some point we are apparently going to Canada. And that's what I was talking about with Touring McLeod. Like, because we don't know when the Make-A-Wish thing is happening, it's been hard to try and figure out when we're going to do the McLeod tour, because we don't want that, obviously, to overlap. When there's more information about this, I will let you guys know. Right now, I don't know a whole lot, but we are going to make that happen however we can. So, yeah. Look, I look forward to that. I look forward to helping any way I can, and make I guess it's in the name, make a wish come true. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, thank you guys so much for supporting. You've made so many incredible things possible, and continue to do so. 2018 has been an interesting beast, and I'm trying to tame it. And I think that June is honestly where things turn around. This timeline split is so necessary, and I'm excited to see what happens because of it. I have high hopes. I really do. I think that the rest of the year is going to be really good for us. So thank you guys for the support. Thanks for listening and being receptive with feedback. And as always, make sure that if you want to say something, you say it here on Patreon, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Anyway, thanks again, and I'll see you guys next month for another Patreon video.